New discoveries by Akshat Rathi, QZ.com PX here licensed under CC by CC0 Akshat Rathi, QZ.com share tweet email Reddit print share tweet email Reddit print Imagine looking up at the sky one night and finding two moons. If it happened in 2017, Twitter would be abuzz with people posting photos. News channels would get astronomers to explain what's happening, and they'd say it's not a supernatural phenomenon but likely an exploding star, a supernova. Within hours, telescopes would have nailed down the exact star that suffered the dreadful fate. And then, likely for weeks to come, you'd be able to enjoy the presence of a very, very, very bright star in the sky. Now imagine seeing the same sight 5,000 years ago. Nobody in your tribe has any clue why there's suddenly an extra super bright object in the night sky. There are no records, written or pictorial, to consult. However, curious as you and your tribe mates might be, you aren't going to risk asking someone in the rival tribe nearby. All you could do is wonder about the oddity, and perhaps try to represent it through your favorite artistic medium. Scientists say this is likely what happened back in 3600 BC. Astrophysicist Mayank Vahia and his colleagues at the Tata Institute of Fundamental Research believe a rock painting found in what is today part of the Kashmir region of South Asia is the oldest record of a supernova and likely the oldest sky chart ever drawn. The artwork shows two bright objects in the sky, with figures of animals and humans underneath. A study detailing the discovery has been published in the Indian Journal of History of Science. Vahia also spoke about the discovery for the podcast The Intersection. Photograph of stone carving from Burzahom. IGC Vahia began the study by taking many steps backwards. Rock art is difficult to date with precision, but Vahia had a solid starting point. The rock was buried in a wall though hidden from view of residents of a house that had already been dated to around 2100 BC. The oldest known settlement in the region was founded around 4100 BC. So the rock art is likely to have been made sometime between those two millennia, then inadvertently used to construct a new dwelling. Next, Vahia needed to understand why someone would draw two bright objects in the sky. It couldn't be two suns, because we have always had only one. It couldn't be the sun and the moon, because although it's possible to see both solar objects in the sky at the same time, a moon can never appear so close to the sun. From Earth, we see the moon as, when it's on the direct opposite side the planet as the sun. The only remaining explanation, Vahia figured, was a supernova. If one exploded relatively nearby our solar system hundreds of few thousands of light years away, it could shine as bright as the sun or the moon. Dr. Mayank Nalink and Vahia. Photo credit Bizwarup Ganguly Wikimedia Commons licensed under CC by 3.0. Of course, this explanation only makes sense if there actually was a supernova bright enough to have been visible on Earth between 4100 BC and 2100 BC. The good news was that Vahia had a way to accurately identify many of supernovas of the past thousands of years. When a supernova explodes, it releases a lot of energy. The energy we can see with the naked eye, that is, visible light, is only a small fraction of what the explosion produces. The supernova continues to emit high-intensity X-rays for hundreds and thousands of years. Astronomers have been able to track down these supernova remnants and calculate when and how big the stellar explosion would have likely been. With all constraints set, the database gave Vahia just 12 option supernova HB9. It seemed to have all the right characteristics. It exploded around 3600 BC, and it's about 2,600 light-years away. At the time of its explosion, it would have appeared to Earthlings as a glowing ball, though not perfectly round and just a little less bright than a moon. There's even better proof to be found when you look more closely at the artwork. The figures underneath the supernova and the moon on the rock painting aren't part of a hunting scene, as it might seem at first glance. Instead, Vahia's analysis shows they neatly fit the constellations that surrounded the supernova. The man with the bow and arrow on the left is Orion, the stag is Taurus, the man on the right holding a spear is part of Pisces, and the dog is the Andromeda. In other words, the rock art is likely a sky chart, and, if it is, it would be the oldest sky chart on record. Vahia, there is just one problem. Working with the Indira Gandhi National Center for the Arts, Vahia has studied many more pieces of rock art from the region, but couldn't find any other sky charts. Though the rock art analyzed here fits quite well with what the sky might have looked like back then, it could also be just a big coincidence. To prove it's not, Vahia would need a second example. If the people in the region drew a star chart once, they must have drawn it many more times for other kinds of celestial events such as comets passing or meteor showers. That is why, on its own, Vahia's rock painting isn't enough to definitively prove itself to be the oldest human-made star chart and supernova record. Still, Vahia is confident that as more rock art emerges from the region, he will find the additional evidence needed to solidify the claim. This article first appeared on Quartz. We welcome your comments at letters@scroll.in. Maink Nalink and Vahia Supernova India Rock Art History Space Sponsored content by published November 20, 2017 12:11 p.m. Shutterstock Share Tweet Email Reddit Print Share Tweet Email Reddit Print Attracting and retaining talent is a challenge for many industries. However, for the healthcare industry, the problem is compounded by acute shortage of skilled professionals. India has a ratio of 0.7 doctors and 1.5 nurses per 1,000 people as against the WHO ideal average of 2.5 each of doctors and nurses per 1,000 people. This reflects the immense human resource challenge in the Indian healthcare industry. So, what can hospitals do to retain and groom the existing talent? How can a clear leadership vision motivate healthcare professionals to perform better? These were among the questions addressed at the Hospital Leadership Summit hosted by Abbott. The panel focused on three key aspects: leadership, talent retention and organizational culture. Dr. Robert Pearl, Executive Director and CEO of the Permanente Medical Group and faculty at Stanford Business School, spoke at length about the role of strong leadership in human resource and talent management. He began by defining the role of a leader. In this video, Drive, Pearl describes a leader as someone who motivates others by setting a strong vision. According to Dr. Pearl, for a leader to craft such a vision and motivate others to work towards it, he or she would require certain qualities. These include empathy, good communication and ability to make quick decisions, stay calm under stress, multitask, and take responsibility, qualities that physicians typically possess by virtue of their profession. He thus urged doctors and physicians to play a greater role in leading their institutions. His view is supported by research. A report in a Harvard Business Review says that physician-run hospitals scored 25% higher in quality rankings across geographies over hospitals run by professionals from non-medical backgrounds. Dr. Pearl says, a leader who is also a physician is in a better position to set benchmarks for other professionals. Setting benchmarks would also mean setting an example for organizational behavior, culture and thought process. Many studies have examined the influence of a leader on his organization's culture. This is expressed well by Dr. Larry Sen's concept, shadow of the leader, which emphasizes that the kind of shadow a leader casts across the organization impacts how the employees think, behave and work. Thus, it is all the more important for physicians to get involved in hospital leadership. One of the key responsibilities of leadership is to also manage and retain good talent. According to Dr. Pearl, one way of optimizing talent is by making efficient use of human resources. A study by Tuck's Center for Global Leadership of 9 Indian hospitals reiterates this. It shows that the strategy of task shifting, or the transfer of routine tasks to lower-skilled workers, left specialists free to handle more complicated procedures. The result: more productive doctors performing 5 to 6 surgeries per hour. Attracting and retaining talent was also a major topic of discussion in the panel discussion on transforming the talent ecosystem at the HLS Summit. Some of the panelists believe that exposing professionals to areas that go beyond their core skills, such as strategy and analytics, could play a significant role in retaining talent. This would ensure constant opportunities for learning and growth and also answer the hospital's growing need for professionals from management backgrounds. Dr. Nendakumar Jairam, Group Director, Columbia Asia, pointed out that hospitals need to look at people with soft skills such as empathy, ability to listen well, etc. So, while hospitals expand their recruitment pool and look to other industries for recruiting people, they should also train their existing staff in these skills. The NYC Health Hospitals in the U.S., a winner of the Training Top 125 2017, is an example of how effective employee training can help achieve corporate goals. Its training programs span a range of skills from medical simulations to language interpretation, leadership development and managing public health threats, thus giving its employees the opportunity to learn and grow within and outside their disciplines. Reaching out to premier medical institutes in various ways also helps attract and retain talented professionals. Sir Gangaram Hospital in New Delhi has emerged to be an attractive employer due to its credibility in the medical research space. Their Department of Research aims to facilitate high-quality, patient-centric research and promotes laboratory-based investigations across various disciplines, also assisting clinicians in pursuing projects. Rajat Mehta, CEO, Max Healthcare, also talked about the importance of having a conducive organizational culture that keeps the workforce together and motivates them to perform better. Every aspect of the organizational functioning reflects its culture, whether it's staff behavior or communication, and culture stems from alignment with a strong leadership vision. Organizational culture is also about incentivizing the workforce through performance rewards and employee-friendly HR policies. For example, at a popular healthcare facility in the US, all the 3,600 employees are actively encouraged to stay fit. They can buy fresh fruits and vegetables while at work, get healthy cooking tips from demonstrations in the office kitchen, and enjoy free massages at their office chairs. A report also talks about how some hospitals in the US inducted their employees into therapeutic activities like knitting, meditation, etc., as part of their efforts to help them cope with stress. Some hospitals also have designated areas with amenities for staff members to relax and recoup. Back home, Sir Gangaram Hospital recently helped its employees during the cash-crunched phase following demonetization by distributing currency notes to all. Such initiatives help establish trust and goodwill among the workforce. Fostering a good culture is crucial for employee engagement. An engaged employee is one who is committed to the organization's goals and values and is motivated to give his or her best to the organization's success. Employee engagement has direct impact on hospital system health outcomes. According to a review of engagement and clinical outcomes at the National Health Service (NHS) in England, for every 10% increase in engagement there was a reduction in MRSA, a life-threatening skin infection, by 0.057 cases per 10,000 bed days. Additionally, a 1 standard deviation improvement in engagement reduced mortality by 2.4 percentage points. It is however tough to gauge employee engagement and implement policies to improve it. As per an HR Soft study, more than 90% of managers or CEOs believe an engagement strategy is important for the organization's success, but only 30% actually have one. The infographic below provides a useful starting point for managers to develop a strategy of their own. These were just some of the insights on healthcare management gleaned from the Hospital Leadership Summit hosted by Abbott. In over 150 countries, Abbott is working with hospitals and healthcare professionals to improve the quality of health services. Additionally, in more than 25 countries, Abbott is recognized as a leading employer in country and a great place to work. To read more content on best practices for hospital leaders, visit Abbott's Bringing Health to Life portal here. This article was produced on behalf of Abbott by the Scroll.in marketing team and not by the Scroll.in editorial staff.